Okay, bitches, here we are again, invigorating my butts, my guts, and my snuts. As you can see here, from Anals on, there is only one book from Overstreet that determines grading prices for comic books. However, I have another complaint again, and I've done this before. Let's look at Comic Connect, and I could show you multiple examples of this. This irks me to death, and I rarely buy CGC comics if it's in a good condition and it's not, cut up or anything like that by a little child who's written on it with a crayon. You all know that I'm looking for Spider-Man 119 and 120 to get together because it's a two-part story. And if you're unaware of it, this two-part story, I don't like that. Yeah, let's do that. This two-part story is in fact the issues where Spider-Man first learns that the Incredible Hulk is in fact Dr. Bruce Banner. At least I believe it is. I'm not. I can't. Don't quote me on that. Don't test me. But I want you to look at the prices here. Okay. Now this is ridiculous because the prices for CGC Comics, as well as CBC and all those other ones, do not match the comic book price guide, the current versions. There's the newest one's coming out in July or whatever. It's on Amazon. But there's no guide for the CGC comics. And we know that it costs money to do. It costs money for this stuff. Okay, here's volume 45. I got 44 here for the Overstreet comic book price guide. And the newest one has come out, and there's like 4 or 5 different versions of this. And but Overstreet has no. Actually, I'm looking for number 10 or something version of that because that's the first one I had of the comic book price guide. These go for money too. I wanted to give a different cover to that, but I didn't get a chance to do it. Anyhow, why it's 23 as opposed to the new one, which is 2174, is beyond me. Now, going back to this, you'll notice the prices for CGC comics is $5.75. But and we know that it costs money to bring, to put together a CGC comic. It costs money to do it, maybe up to $3,000 or more if you know your stuff or know what you're doing. It's called a walk-in, but it costs too much to do it. And why? The only reason I can see why people do it is to increase the grade of the comic and officially increase the grade, as opposed to this comic book, which has no CGC, is the same copy, maybe a little bit more wear and tear, but it's the same identical copy as the CGC copy. Only difference is that it's encased, and some people like to collect them. I don't. For the simple reason that the prices are completely and utterly fucking ridiculous. Okay? They're out of whack. There's no guide to it. And I can get this one for $70 for 9.2. That's not bad at all. Okay? It's a little bit different copy than this one. Where's it at? This one's somebody, and these are consignment items. Okay? Current bid, 0. Okay? And you can buy it if you want here. Or you can buy it here if you want. So it's $140. But I'd rather have maybe a 6.0 copy or whatever, 6 to 7.0. It really doesn't matter as long as you get a copy. You can always upgrade later, when you have the money or whatnot. But my point is that there's no grade there's no guide to determine the actual price of comic book or CGC, regardless of whether it's been mummified, encased, or not. You mean you let it sit around for years, you can never open the damn thing and take a look at it. Okay? Why it's scrunched up like that, I think that's a photo manipulation. That looks a little bit better. I mean, if you want 120, let's look at that. Let's look at 120, which completes the story to that. And then after that is the Gwen Stacy story. I'll do a little search here. And it's ridiculous, you know. These prices are jacked up by consignors as on eBay as well as other people. This is 9.8. Okay. Big hairy deal. It's 9.8. Can you read it? Is it how, you know, say you want a mint copy, you want to stick it away and never read it again, or you want to go resell it for a higher price. You know, it's just freaking ridiculous. Okay. This is what bothers me about the CGC market, is because profiteers and connivers and all this other stuff jack up the prices at least 10 times out of proportion from what, sorry about the clicking, from what the actual comic book price guide actually says how much it's worth. Okay? Okay, 9.0, $95. Here's one for 16 at 3.5. Okay, maybe you don't want a 3.5. I'll pay $95 to get a 9.0. It's not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, if you take care of your comics, hey, more power to you. But I just think it's that the CGC crap has gone out of control, and there's no guide to regulate it. You know, it costs money to put into it, to CGC or CNBC or whatever, you know, or you know, some of these untrustworthy mummificators. You know, that's what I call them. Sometimes they manipulate it, so if it's not CGC, don't mind you. CGC does do a good job, but hell, you know, why buy a CGC copy? You know, and this one's cracked, so this is like $21 bid. I can't even buy it if I wanted to. Okay, so it's cracked, big deal, you know, but it's ridiculous, you know. There's no guide for CGC prices, and you can get the same copy without CGCing it, or get two copies. You know, get two copies of the same issue. But this CGC stuff has gone out of control. I don't want to pay $700. It's not even fucking worth $700. Okay, and there's no. These are all bits. This is $149. I could get it for $95, and that's probably how much it is, close to how much it's worth, according to the comic book price guide or current version of it. $700? Give me a fucking break. Watch this. Okay? How many times does 95 go into 700? Minus 95. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It goes into $700 7 times. That's 7 times more than what the comic book is actually worth. So it's a big fucking joke. Okay, I hate CGC comics. I got a CGC comic here, and the only reason I have it there because it's a key issue. I got Incredible Hulk 102. But this isn't even a key issue. It's not even a golden age issue, you know. It's a classic story with the Hulk and Spider-Man. And Spider-Man learns the identity of the Incredible Hulk when he reverts back to his usual self. It's a fantastical story. But the thing is that there's no guide to CGC comics, and why people are paying up to $700 or more because some consignor is overpricing it regardless of the CGC mummification, which you could crack open, by the way, and take the comic book out, is ridiculous. I mean, I could understand if it was Incredible Hulk 181 and 180 or key issue like that. But these prices, they're fucking crazy. And the people who put it out there are making a killing off of it, especially on non-CGC mummification services. And I've seen it on forums. I've seen people say, touting about, or talking about, oh, I'm making a killing on this shit, blah blah blah. Shut the fuck up. If you're investing in comic books, I would advise you to only buy comic books that are not CGC'd, and if you're going to CGC it, do it yourself. Don't sell it. If you want to put it on the wall, then after that, then go ahead, or frame it or something, or get 2 copies or 3 copies, one for selling, one for keeping, and one for reading, or future reading, a reader's copy. But the way that CGC prices are out of whack, and there's no guide to, look at this, $1,200. Unfucking believable, man. Would you buy that? Some dumbass would, and I'll tell you why. Because CGC has ruined the comic book market by making a plagiarization of their type of grading system, and it's not 100% key effective. I mean, I got a 7.0 version of the CGC grade here, and it doesn't look like it's 7.0 to me. It looks like it's 6.5. So I could grade them myself, but if you take care of your comic books, you don't need CGC, unless it's a signature series. I don't know what the heck this is. It says, signature series. This was signed by Ramata. I can't see the signature on here, but he must have done it somewhere. There it is in the bottom corner. But I just don't like CGC comics, and if you agree with me, like the video or whatever, but I'm just trying to warn people out there that CGC prices are totally out of control because consignors have made it out of control, and there's no regulation over it, and there's no guide, so that people can just do it whatever they want and rip people off left and right, and it's ridiculous. It's better known as criminality, or criminal let it slide sellers. It's bullshit, and it's crazy, and sometimes I'll buy it, sometimes I won't, but I'm just telling you right now, if you're going to get a copy of a comic book, don't buy CGC unless it's really good copy, and maybe low grade, but I would highly advise against it. It's just a ridiculous thing, and until they get a comic book price guide from CGC, you're fucking nuts if you're going to go buy it.